Hello everyone, welcome to new video. I hope you are doing great and myself I'm doing fine. And today in this video I'm going to share my one of the recent interview experience as well as questions asked and what the responses also. And the interview went very well, I can say, and there is a very good engagement between the interviewer and me, and I have gathered all the questions and some scenario based questions, some practical questions, all those things. I'm going to definitely explain all those and share my experience with you guys. And this video is definitely helpful if you are in the situation where planning to switch to another company, or else if you are in a situation where to begin your journey in this particular field, DevOps or DevSecOps or cloud engineer or AWS, any domain, okay, relevant domain, SRE or something, then definitely do consider watching this particular video. It is, I'm sure that it will be added some knowledge to you, and some new experience also will you get. And I mean, the main motto of this particular video and my intention was also the same. There will be some gaining from me also, for me also, and there will be some sharing for you guys, and that will be helpful, and then I will be very much happy. Okay, without further ado, let's enter into the video. And before moving to the video, I wanted to make sure to have some what I can say, overall brief on this particular thing. Like, it is for not freshers, it is for experienced candidate. Like, I'm a experienced guy and I am working in one of the company. I don't want to disclose this some confidential data, but I'm giving the overall overview, how many years of experience they are expecting these kind of questions like that. It is a 3 years experience range and into DevSecOps. Okay, don't consider DevOps and DevSecOps are both are very different. It is almost same. DevSecOps is nothing but one step ahead of DevOps. Okay, adding security as some major pointers. Security pointers will be there in each category, like a SAST dash. I will cover everything in this particular video, and you will also get to know there will be a lot of questions regarding the DevOps and Kubernetes, AWS and DevSecOps. Almost all everything is covered. Okay, and without further ado, let's enter into the video and let's have a discussion. And the first question was, I mean, obviously the interviewer having a resume, but they wanted to understand a high level and overview of ourselves as a candidate, and what is the day-to-day activities. Okay, based on the resume they can get to know what technologies we have worked and what tasks or projects we have worked, like that only. But by telling our experiences, day-to-day activities, what exactly you are doing, based upon that they will consider whether is it worth to consider further or not. The question is tell me about yourself and your experience into DevSecOps. As I said, particular role what I played was DevSecOps. Here I explained my day-to-day activities as well as where I have implemented the security and what security standards. I mean, there is some standards like some RBI guidelines, some SEBI guidelines, like that, and what we achieve by implementing those security check-ins into CI/CD pipeline or whatever the stages may be. I explained very much clearly. I took around 5 minutes to introduce this myself as well as to cover the experience day-to-day activities. Okay, and the further follow-up question was what is the DevSecOps practices? What are the DevSecOps practices have you implemented in your previous organization or else previous project? Okay, I considered one of the project where I have implemented the DevSecOps practices, and I clearly explained where I have implemented the security into the CI/CD pipeline, where different tools like SonarQube, Trivi, WAPS, Zap, WAPS, dependency check, Snake, and many tools are there. Based on the category wise, I have framed a list of tools based on the software development lifecycle flow, test, plan, code, after the test, release, deploy, monitor, and then feedback, like that. Okay, and for infrastructure, what is the tool for ISC scanning, and for secret management, what is the tools like a Git secret, Git guardian, and for container security, let's say there is a one Docker container, how can you secure this particular thing? I explained very clearly with an example. And for access control, we need to make sure to provide a RBAC, and IAM policies and roles need to be checked and maintained properly. And the further question was, how do you describe challenges or else problems you faced in a CI/CD pipeline, and how do you resolve that particular problems? Especially while talk about the CI/CD pipeline, while establishing the issues and whatever, while integrating the security tools into that, some tools won't support integration into a pipeline, and there are some malware detection tools which we cannot integrate into a pipeline. I faced some situation, and while researching that, and while if it is very brand new tool, like to us, let's say if I am a working associate, the tool was old, but for me it was brand new at the time. But the project requirement was that one. In that case, obviously in a shorter span we need to get a more knowledge on that particular tool, and at the time we face some difficulty going through the documentation, and we have used the AI tools in getting the information much faster, like AI chatbots will be there, where it will we can chat with the PDF, and we can ask whatever the information we have required, we need required. And in that case, definitely it is like where we need to keep some efforts, and we need to consider what is the problem solution in that particular cases, and what is the like output after that particular integration or particular achievement, like what will be the output, like it will increases the deployment time, decreases the deployment time, and it will increases the efficiency for this much percentage. Okay, like that I clearly explained. And the further question was, how do you design scalable secure CI/CD pipeline for enterprise applications, especially let's say if we wanted to design a CI/CD pipeline for enterprise application, we need to make sure to follow a hierarchy where we need to get the source code from the Git repository, or whatever the source code management, or Bitbucket, or GitLab, whatever the source code management tool choosing. We need to get that particular code, and we need to scan that particular code. There is a SAST, we can say, static application security testing, where it will scan a source code. Open source tool like SonarQube. I haven't mostly considered the tools. I followed the process and explained the same thing, but for your sake, while I'm explaining here, I'm giving the tools. After the static application security testing, we need to check what are the dependencies in their source code. We need to check for SBOM, software bill of materials, where if there is any third-party libraries used, whether it was up to date or not, and is there any some more dependencies like that. And there is a build tool after that. After the application, normal testing, source code testing, source code review, source code analysis, we can say. We need to build that particular application by using Maven or Gradle. I have experience on that, and I explained about the same thing. After that, we can once the application is built, we can perform the Docker container or image scanning by using Trevi or Snake. And for deployment, we can use Kubernetes, and we can use the deployment methodologies like blue-green deployment, canary deployment, and for Prometheus purpose, for monitoring and logging, we can use Prometheus, like that. I clearly explained. And the next question was, what is the security best practices have you followed in CI/CD pipeline? Initially, they asked majorly considering how the integration will be, how the security best practices. This guy have a experience on that, like that. And in this case here, while best practices, I considered the tools, and I mentioned out for code scanning, we use SonarQube, Snake, and Trevi for SAST analysis, and we can use secret management of environment variables, and AWS secret manager will be there. We can use that particular thing, and secret vault, password vault, we can use that. And we can use role-based access controls, where RBAC, and IAM users, where they have a dedicated access to the dedicated resources, and to perform any task or something. And I think those are some best practices. And the next further follow-up question was, how do you make sure there is a zero downtime in the deployment in a production environment? Obviously, if we talk about a production environment, everyone will definitely ask this particular question. As I said, we can use a blue-green deployment strategy, where two identical environments runs parallelly and switches the traffic post-validation. And canary deployment also we can use, where it will gradually roll out to the subnet of the particular users. And I think there is some different deployment strategies also we can use. And the further follow-up question was, what is a bash script to check if the service is running, and start if it is not. Let's say if particular service is running, we need to make sure we need to print the service is up and running. If it is not running, we need to make sure to start that particular service. Let's say if there is one Nginx service is installed, and we need to, by using bash script, we need to make sure to check if the service is running or not. If it is not running, we need to start that particular service, this particular Nginx service. I think there is a script like a service equal to like whatever the service name in the double quotes we need to keep, and if exclamatory mark and a systemctl is active hyphen like quite will be there, where that particular service name will come, and then restart the service. Like this was the command like a systemctl restart that particular service nginx, where we can define that particular nginx as a service in the first like line itself, and we can restart. I mean, restart in the sense it will start. Okay, if it is already restarted, then it will just print a message like service is running up and running. If it is not, then a service is restarted like that. And for more like clear idea, just to go through like Google or ChatGPT, then you will get a clear understanding. And moving to the further question, how do you automate user creation in AWS using a Python? Yeah, majorly many of the companies, they will definitely ask to have some exposure on Python as a scripting language. So here we can use Boto 3. Boto 3, that was the one of the module in Python where I mean Python has a like it supports for vast functionalities, and they have different modules, so that's why it is more popular, and it is majorly used for automation. And if you come to talk about this particular automation, we need to initially import this particular Boto 3 module into the code, and we need to specify the Boto 3 will just communicate with the services whatever we are using. We need to, before that, we need to make sure to configure the AWS account by using IAM user, like IAM there is a value keeper should be there. That based on that we need to configure that, and after that we need to write that particular code where we need to import the Boto 3 module, and IAM we need to specify the Boto 3 client, and name of the like name should be in brackets single quotes IAM, and username should be what is the username of the IAM you want to create, and IAM dot create underscore user, and username is equal to whatever the username is specified above, that will be the username. And after that we can just randomly print a message like user, that particular username is created successfully, like that. Okay, then if you run, then you can see the username is user IAM user was created. And make sure, if you are a DevOps engineer or DevSecOps or SRE engineer, make sure to have your knowledge on Python. Definitely it is going to pay you a lot. Okay, and coming to the another question, like explain the Terraform helps in your infrastructure automation. Definitely, like Terraform is a vast tool where I think recently IBM acquired the Terraform. I think if you guys are not aware, just to go through the Google, and there is a dedicated official notification, official blog from HashiCorp itself. This particular Terraform is acquired by IBM, and now it was planning to have a multi-cloud environmental support. Okay, they are planning to develop that one, and I explained about what is the major use case of the Terraform in my case, and for especially automation of infrastructures in multi-cloud environments also. I think now also it will support multi-cloud environment. And the further follow-up question was what are the Terraform modules, and how do you use particular Terraform modules? Terraform, basically the Terraform modules is like functions in the particular code where we can reuse that particular modules to create instead of writing the entire code again, especially the HCL language. Terraform files is written in HCL language, which is HashiCorp language, HashiCorp communication language, something. Okay, and we can use, instead of we can use that particular thing again. And how do you secure a Kubernetes cluster? For securing purpose, we can use first thing least privileges, that is RBAC, role-based access control, or BAC. Remember this, it will be useful in whatever the case may be. Okay, that might be in Jenkins, that might be in Docker, that might be in Kubernetes, that might be in environmental setup, that might be in developer environment, whatever it might be. Okay, it is like very decent thing what the everyone should should be followed. And we can enable a network policies. Well, it will communicate the between, it will control the communication between the particular pods, and we can create a pod security where it will follow the standard security measures. And we can also create a image security. Let's say if you are using a Docker image, make sure to scan the Docker image and maintain certain security features in that particular thing. Security features in the sense, make sure to store the passwords or credentials in a vault, and to use the whatever the core structure, or else how can I say, yeah, to use that particular features efficiently, okay, for getting good results. And I mean that is one of the way to secure a Kubernetes cluster. And the further follow-up question was, let's say, what is the difference between the Kubernetes deployment and a stateful set? Actually, there is a one key difference between the deployment and a stateful set. A deployment is managing a stateless applications, okay, and whenever there is a stateful set, the application information is particularly present in the how can I say, it will maintain the application information in stateful set, and it will maintain, I mean, storage and all, it will be maintained. And I'm not properly getting how to explain that, and do consider like searching, I mean, do some research on this, and correct me if I'm wrong. Definitely I will do myself improvement or some suggestion, okay. And I mean, based on that, people will not feel like whatever I'm saying, it is only correct, okay. And yeah, moving to the further question, like yes, sorry, one moment. Yeah, how do you set up a centralized logging in your Kubernetes environment? There is a one service called ELK, where Elastic Stack, where Elastic Log Stack, something, a full form, Elastic Log Stack collection. It will store logs, okay. But logging in Kubernetes, yes, I think that particular service is used here. And if you know the answer, please let me know. I'm not able to recall the answer or not able to get correct response as of now. And moving to the further question, let's say if there is a Prometheus and Grafana. And the thing was here, the question was the Prometheus and Grafana, how the Prometheus and Grafana will work together. Prometheus is generally it will collect CA metrics and logs, and Grafana is basically a tool where it can visualizes, I mean, it will represent that particular metrics and logs in a visualized data format. And we can also integrate that particular tools into a CI/CD pipeline, or GitLab CI/CD, or GitHub Actions, or Circle CI, whatever the CI/CD tool we are using, okay. And moving forward, how do you detect or prevent secrets from being pushed to a Git repository? Actually, there is a one secure checklist we need to follow in this particular case, where a GitHub checklist, we can say, I'm just writing a shortcut, GC, where GitHub secure checklist, GSC, we can say, okay. Where what exactly in GitHub secure checklist we do was, there is some secure best security practices with respect to GitHub. Likewise, with respect to Jenkins is there, with respect to like Cloud is there, okay. I think only with respect to Jenkins and GitHub we followed in our project. So what exactly in that was, I said, no, there is some security based practices, like we need to authenticate like a two-factor authentication, and JWT token need to be created, and we need to have a role-based access controls, and we disable server permissions to copy paste the code from another code, like that. And there is a we can store the secrets by using a git secrets, okay. And we can use the environment variables also to storing secrets. And yeah, I think these are the some best practices. And moving forward, this was the some what I can say, some common question, like where it is regarding the vulnerability. If it is a DevSecOps, then obviously this will ask, let's say, what are the some common container vulnerability, container security vulnerabilities, and how do you mitigate that particular vulnerabilities? Mitigation in the sense, some reduction, like how do you make sure to it not occur in future, like that, okay. Generally vulnerable like images we can scan by using different tools, open source tools also there, like Turvy is one of the popular dedicated tool for container image scanning. And regarding the mitigation, we can provide a least privileges, and we can store our secrets in the vault, okay, or else some AWS secret manager. And as I said, there is a tools we need to make sure to follow some standards that tool will detect, and that tool will generate a report also. We need to review that and send to a developer to decrease, I mean, if developer is involved in writing some Docker image or something, okay, we need to inform to them. If as a DevOps engineer or DevSecOps engineer you are writing, then that particular feedback will be to you only. And this question was regarding SAST and DAST. What is the major difference between SAST and DAST? Generally, SAST is static application security testing, where the source code is analyzed and tested for vulnerabilities or whatever it might be before the code is going to be executed, okay, when it was in rust. That is basically a SAST. DAST is nothing but it is a dynamic application security testing, where the code, after the build, once the code is deployed, once the application is ready and deployed to the some staging, production, or pre-prod, whatever the stages, there this particular DAST will include some, where the application is tested when it was in running stage, okay. And moving forward, let's say if your production deployment fails, what steps did you take to resolve that particular issue? Okay, this particular important, steps was important, where first thing was we can check the logs, and we can also maintain a rollback by using a CI/CD, and we can identify what exactly the root cause. That is what we can say root cause analysis. And if you perform this particular task, you can mention the pointer like root cause analysis in your resume also, and in your interview also you can say. And we can retest, and we can fix that particular issue, and we can redeploy, and we'll see based upon the further like logs or metrics, whatever we are going to get. And let's say if there is a build failure, okay, build was failing, okay, then what troubleshooting will you take in that particular case? Obviously we will check the logs, and we'll check if there is any build dependencies. While building, there should be some dependencies. Will that build file maven pom.xml will be there, will that satisfies the dependencies? We need to check that particular thing, and we need to make sure to run that locally, and we can check now, like that is the one of the pointer. And we can make sure to debug the pipeline line by line, like where exactly it was failing and what it causing the failure. We can if you in Jenkins we can use a script output or something. There is an option if you go in that particular pipeline, there you will get to know like what exactly it was occurring, and in logs also you can find. And coming to the next question, what is the difference between GitHub Actions and Jenkins? Generally, Jenkins is like server based, like host based. We need to dedicatedly allocate run in a particular server, okay. But GitHub Actions is integrated within the GitHub only. It is a cloud based resource, a service we can say. And as I said, Jenkins is a self hosted. We need to host that particular thing. And if we talk about the major difference, or like what is exactly the key difference, GitHub Actions will integrated within the GitHub, and Jenkins it will supports to multiple enrollment, and it is a standalone we can say. And if it is GitHub, there is a GitHub runner will be there. Based on that, it will run. If it is Jenkins, there is a it will directly communicate with the CLI. And GitHub Actions will run based on the, that particular pipeline will be written in a YAML, how GitLab CI/CD is written. But in Jenkins, it will be a Groovy script. In Jenkins, there will be a standalone, pipeline, as well as a standalone pipeline, where based upon our use case, we can follow that. And in Jenkins, as I said, it is a Groovy syntax. Okay, and yeah, coming to the next question, what is the Helm? And like in Kubernetes, what is the Helm? And like we can say some benefits exactly. Helm is generally a package manager of our Kubernetes, where that will simplify the application deployment. Helm charts we can say. And what exactly the Helm charts was, there is some pre-configuration templates will be there that will manages the Kubernetes resources by using that particular Helm charts. Those are like important toolkits we can say. If we talk about the benefits, it reduces the complexity by providing some templates, YAML files, and it will allows a version controls and some rollback updates, and it will easily facilitates a application upgrade. And the further question was Zero Trust Security model. Generally, the Trust Security is a framework where no user or device or network is inheritedly, by default, it will be trusted like that. The principles mainly follows. It will verify the every access whatever it is getting. It will authenticate as well as authorize. Authentication is basically who should have access, and authorization is nothing but what they have access, what they can access like that. And as I say in every like thing like RBAC, where list privileges, role based access controls. And we need to make sure to maintain a continuous monitoring where it will respond if something suspicious thing is found. And it is something quite important, OAP's top 10. Okay, wherever you go as a DevSecOps engineer, it is very much important to know OAP's top 10 is like what are the some security breaches or vulnerabilities. This was the OAPS was the one of the standard world security something definition is there. Go through that once, and I have some high level understanding like what exactly the OAP's top 10. First one, I will list down some pointers like broken access control and some SQL injection attacks, insecure design, and security misconfigurations. And yeah, these are some major things, and some cryptographic failures. Okay, and I think I covered mostly 5. And go through the internet, you will find that. And how do you manage application secrets in Kubernetes? Generally, in Kubernetes, while storing a application, we can, while storing some secrets within the Kubernetes, we can use HashiCorp Vault and I think Kubernetes Secret Manager, not AWS Secret Manager, where that will provide, say, and we can use vaults also, like other some third-party vaults. There are some service providers there where they will provide a vault service also. Okay, and coming to the next question, sorry. And also we can use environment variables and different things. Okay, and what is Ansible playbook? Yeah, generally the Ansible playbook is nothing but, in some interviews they will ask to write an Ansible playbook also, but in my case they haven't asked the write an Ansible playbook. What is your understanding about your Ansible playbook and how it was used? Like that he asked a question. Ansible playbook is like a ML playbook where it will define the list of automated tasks to be performed. While by running that particular YAML file, we can make sure to achieve that particular task can be can be fulfilled based on the automation like that. We can configure if any servers is required. We can deploy the application. We can manage the infrastructure based upon our need. I'm just saying the example, okay? And by using that particularly, we can avoid the agent. We can say agentless automation by using this particular thing. And we can use a declarative approach for execution of tasks. Imperative in the sense, declarative in the sense, sorry, first I will say the declarative. We can define what the task to be followed next, and we can define our specifications. Imperative in the sense there is a default thing that to be followed. Declarative is the always the best and most widely used, and it will support multi-hosted or we can say clouds. Okay, and yeah, regarding this was a kind of scenario based question. Let's say if CPU usage is high, and how do you troubleshoot that particular case? If the CPU usage was very high by Kubernetes pod, how do you troubleshoot in this particular case? First of all, we can check the resource usage by using a command kubectl. Majorly what, which service is majorly using kubectl kubectl space top space and a pod name we can give, and that will use the what exactly the resource using the high CPU. And we can also describe the pod for any event also, like a kubectl describe a pod and a pod name, it will describe. And we can check the logs also, kubectl log, and we can give the pod name, dedicatedly pod name wise it will give you a logs. And we can also check the running processes, like whatever the running pods is there, like kubectl exec-it. We can specify the pod name and hyphen top. It will, whatever the running process is there, whatever the running pods is there, it will displace there. And I think these are the some troubleshooting scenarios. And we can also use the horizontal pod autoscaler based upon, if you wanted to increase the, what we can say, generally horizontal, it will adds the different server with the same configuration like that. And how do you enforce security policies? Yeah, how do you enforce security policies in AWS? If security policies, if you talk, make sure there be a IAM and RBAC. Okay, that was some default thing where IAM basically we can create IAM users with the least privileges. That is the important point, the least privileges for users and roles. We need to create that, and we can create a network security groups and ACLs where it will restrict the traffic to the particular instance from other resources like that. And in AWS itself, there is a service called AWS Guard Duty, AWS Shield, where it will protect. different. Those are different things. Where it will use case was different. AWS Shield was it will protect from web attacks like DDoS attacks, denial of service, where if the service is up and running, the attacker tries to slow down that particular thing and makes to go that particular website into offline mode. Okay, that is generally a DDoS attack. And AWS Guard Duty is generally it will monitor the misconfigurations and whatever the threats is happening. Okay, that is basically. And those are the some security policies we should be enforced, and we can encrypt the data also. There are different types of encryption of data, which is in rest, which is in transit, that means which is in dynamic in nature. And moving to the further question, how do you handle how do you handle disaster recovery in DevOps? Generally, this particular question will be there in many of the use cases, like how do you handle disaster recovery if the availability zone is down? How do you make sure your data is available, your service is up and running? How do you make sure to fall under this particular, how do you tackle this particular situation like that? In that particular situation, we make sure to to have a backups. That is a basic thing. We can use versioning also. If we consider as a S3, if you are storing backup in S3, then we can enable the versioning of that particular backup, and that will replicate whenever the server goes down. And we need to be create a snapshots that is comes under the backup only. And multi-region deployment, there is a one concept like that, where if one region goes down, AWS region or whatever the service cloud service you are using, we can opt the availability from another region. Okay, and we can route the traffic from to the another region server. Okay, and disaster recovery. We can use some monitoring and alert techniques, where we can say Prometheus and Grafana for monitoring purpose, like what exactly is happening. With respect to if we are if we wanted to tackle the situation, obviously we need some like what we can say metrics and logs and some graphical representation of that particular data. Based on that, we can tackle that particular situation. And I think these are some pretty good questions and some experience I got in that particular interview. And I think these are some pretty sound and knowledgeable questions, what I guess. And as I said in the beginning of the video, the discussion was very, very well. And let's hope for the best and have a good response. Wish to have a good response. And obviously it is some new experience, and I think if you watched the video till this, you will get some good exposure and experience to you guys as well, like how exactly will be the real-time situation. And many questions you are also able to answer if you know, like familiarize with most of the DevOps or DevSecOps concepts, and some scenario-based questions that you are able to answer once you get into practical only. Otherwise, if you just watching videos or studying some blogs or just watching some practical videos, you don't get that familiar. If you do some practical, then only you will get to know. Or else if you're involved in some real-time implementation or deployment part, whatever it might be in your organization, okay, then you will get to know like what exactly is happening, and you are able to be answer and confident. You are able to explain your situation. Okay, but if you don't have real-time situation, real-time experience also, don't worry. Just keep practicing. Your knowledge pays you. Okay, so at the end, let's say if you are in another domain or something, and you learned these skills as a new, you are able to handle the situation. You can enter in interviews and you are able to showcase your skills. Like I have these. I don't tell like the one thing was I wanted to share. Like I will do a dedicated video also, but the one pointer I recently got one of the comments, like I have of some 5 years of experience in some support. I am very much interested in DevOps or DevSecOps. In this particular case, while I'm switching, I'm planning to put 1 year of experience and learn the DevOps and move into a DevOps like that. So my suggestion was, don't waste like your experience. Get familiar with things as much as you can. Okay, based on that you can decide like how many experience you can put. Okay, that will decide. So don't blindly just initially decide this many years I'm putting. So let's learn accordingly. It's not like that. Learn first, judge yourself next. Okay. I will do a dedicated videos also based upon your comments. And I think many people found these particular videos or whatever the experiences I'm sharing very engaging and some informative. I'm very much happy that you guys are finding this informative and engaging, as well as some meaningful discussion worth of time. Okay, and it's also like kind of serving the nation. Okay, like helping the people is obviously good thing, right? Good nature. Okay, do follow the same thing and gain knowledge and share it. Okay, and stay tuned for more videos. Thank you so much for watching the video.